Hey guys, so today we have a new lash tech drama, but this time it's kind of from the perspective of the lash tech doing nothing wrong. I know we did a lot of like cosmetic procedure dramas and it's usually the person doing the cosmetics that's in the wrong, but this time it's actually the client and it's showing a whole different side of the story, but I just thought it was interesting enough to talk about it and how messy these things get. So this is a lash tech called Lashes to Lavish that is exposing a client, and I just saw this, someone tagged me in this to talk about it, which if you guys have any ideas for this channel, any like beauty related stories, do tag me on TikTok or send them to me on Instagram or send them to me in DMs. I mainly use Instagram and TikTok for that, so go ahead. But let's kind of go into the story. Let's just jump in. Subscribe, hit the bell icon for engagement. Let's just get into it. This is Lashes to Lavish, 39,000 subscribers, licensed esthetician. It's not you, it's your product. Purchase your supplies. I mean, clearly this is someone who I usually would talk about maybe in the other sense of you know, fault. But she seems to only really be doing lashes, eyelash extensions course, lash cleanser, lash supplies. Yeah, at least she's not doing like lips or anything, right? Because that'd be crazy. But she's doing the courses. I'm always a bit iffy about the courses, but this isn't something where it's kind of like I said, like needles and things like that, like Botox and things. So lashes I'm fine with as long as you're not doing like the UV gel lashes. So this is fine. And clearly she's obviously doing well for herself. Now let's click on the first TikTok.
Okay, this is part one of the client from hell. She has been stalking me, bad-mouthing my business, leaving fake reviews on my profile. Okay, this is part one of the client from hell. She has been stalking me, bad-mouthing my business, leaving fake reviews on my profiles. She's been telling other clients of mine to not come to me. She's been stalking my social media accounts. And yeah. Back in March, I had gotten a DM from her saying that she wanted me to do a fill for her, and I told her, like, yeah, sure. I had an opening tomorrow, so she takes that opening. She comes in, she is late, and then also we had already confirmed the day before that she had lashes on for a fill. She comes in with 2 eyelashes. So I tell her, like, okay, I can do as much as I can to get full coverage because I know you really want your lashes done, but you're gonna have to come in sooner, which makes sense. So as I'm starting her lash fill, I go to wash her lashes, and she tells me, no, don't wash them. Her lashes were covered in mascara, makeup, everything. And from that, I knew we were gonna have, like, real issues. Come back with part 2 because I forgot.
So my client from hell story time. Someone said don't wash them. Why would B say no? What does that mean? You need a new rule. If they don't let you wash their lashes, you shouldn't provide the service because it's kind of gross. You need a clean service. Expose her if she feels so comfortable doing all of that. So obviously, yeah, this is crazy, but she elaborates on the story later on.
This is part 2 of why I'm reporting my client to the state board. She's having this whole time, she's telling me she loves of why I'm reporting my client to the state board. She's having this whole time, she's telling me she loves my product, she wants to come to me all the time, she loves my supplies, she loves my business, and just a lot of stuff that was weird for someone that didn't even follow me or know who I was until yesterday. Basically, she texted me a few days after that her lashes are not lasting her. They're almost all off, which for me, it never happens. I've been lashing for 6 years, but I don't take accountability, sure. So I get her in. That week I was so busy, I squeezed her in. She came back in, and I noticed that she had pulled off all of the extensions I put on. I even have a picture I can drop for you guys to see, but it was so weird. And I know what that looks like. I've been doing this long enough. She yanked all her lashes off. At this point, I'm telling her, like, hey, like, maybe the reason they're not lasting is because, like, you yanked them off. She's like, no, I don't know what it is, but they're just not lasting. So I'm like, okay, well, you again said that.
I just don't see the point of doing all of this. Like, I always wonder, like, what motivates people to behave this way? Like, you went in, already acted super weird getting this fill in, but you got them filled in to then yank them off and complain to the person that it didn't last. For what reason? Like, even if you get a discount, you also don't have the lashes because you yanked them off. I don't quite understand.
A fill, but again, you need a full set, and you're doing the same thing that was in part 1. Long story short, I only ended up charging her $30 for a full set. You know. A few days after, the same thing, they're not lasting me. So again, she comes back in, and I believe I charged her $40. Keep in mind, on these, I'm not charging her a squeezing fee either. This goes on about 4 or 5 times, and at this point, I'm asking her, like, hey, like, maybe you should start seeing, like, another lash artist, like, maybe it's me, you know? And at this point, I texted, like, all the clients in between her appointments, and I'm like, are you guys experiencing any issues? And they're like, no, my clients are all regulars. They come back every 2 weeks on the dot, 2, 3, 4 weeks, and their lashes are perfect. And then with this client, I kept running into issues where I voiced my opinion after, like, 4 or 5 times of being disrespected of just her messing with my schedule. I would tell her, like, hey, if you're booking fills and you need a full set, please communicate that, because what ends up happening is I end up going home, like, 45 minutes after I was supposed to, because you threw off my schedule, and you know that you have 2 eyelashes on and they're throwing gang signs. Like, just communicate. So never once did this client pay full price for anything. And I was just getting very, very frustrated because I was like, you are doing this on purpose almost. And I have a policy in place where I will fix your lashes if you message me within the first 3 days. She was waiting like 5, 6, 7 days each time, and it just got to a point where I was on my final straw. Come back and I'll make another video. This is like,
right, you guys getting the point. Obviously not the best client as is, right? And then it gets worse from there. So I mean, even at this point, you should just give up and like say, I'm not doing your lashes anymore. But you know.
Okay, so this is part 3 about why I'm reporting my client to the state board. So my final straw was her last appointment, where at this point I would have to double check in with her to make sure that she had the correct amount of lashes for a fill, because on this day I was running back to back and I knew that she was going to test me. So she basically says the same thing over again, like, hey, just do as much as you can, it's okay. And then there I clocked it. I was like, with all due respect, like, I want to take pride in my work and you are upset that they're not lasting you. Also, disclaimer, I don't give a shit if I'm doing makeup wrong. I really don't. And I just want to be able to have enough time to not rush so that your lashes can come out and last you. And again, her lashes just looked like they were being like yanked out. I'm gonna put a photo into in one of the videos. So she tells me that the next appointment she'll book a full set because she knows she needs one, and that I'll just make them as low as possible. And lo and behold, 5 days go by. She sends me a message at 1 in the morning saying, hey, I'm coming in tomorrow. I need you to fix one of my eyes. First of all, hello, how are you? Sorry for bothering you. So I'm gonna end with that, and then
I'm coming in tomorrow for you to fix my lashes is a crazy statement to make. Like, I don't know where the entitlement comes from.
it was really busy in the morning, so I wasn't able to answer her. And I also didn't have any more openings. And I told her this would happen, so at this point, I'm just gonna ban her. Mind you, her last appointment, I also charged her. I think I gave her like half off because it was her birthday. And then that next day, she texted me like 5 times. I'm coming in. Hello. I just need you to fix one eye. It won't take you long. It'll take you 10 minutes. I'm on my way. Over and over again, I was professional. I was like, I'm not able to do it for you. At this point, like I said 4 or 5 times, you're not understanding. So I stopped answering. 5 days go by, and I don't hear anything from her. At this point, I'm like, okay, she went somewhere else. Tell me why. On the following Monday, I believe that was a Wednesday that happened, I get a notification from Google that someone left a 1-star review on my page, and the name I don't recognize. And if you are a service provider, you know the second that you get that review, your heart sings. So I'm sitting here trying to figure out who could have left this review, who is this? But I knew in my heart like it was her. I made sure it was like nobody that I knew, and then basically I sent her a text message. You can like pause to read this. I'm just gonna...
So she says, hope you have been well. I recently saw a Google review put on my site. As a business owner, I would like to know where I went wrong with your service and or where you feel like I could have done better. It really does hurt me as a business owner when a client leaves a negative review without communication. Over the past few appointments, you have said how amazing the service is and how you want to purchase my supplies for your family. It seems to me because of my schedule, we blah, 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 blah. I understand your frustration, but I'm fully booked for the month. Any appointment you have tried to book, I've squeezed you in without charging you the fee. Your last appointment, we also gave you 50% off for your birthday, so I'm just very confused about your review. I've really tried to make you as happy as possible, which, I mean, from her story, I know we don't have the other side, but from her story, I agree.
For a second, she responded to this, called me, I don't answer, texted me, I have no idea what you're talking about, I don't know what you mean, hello. At that point, I was like, okay, if this wasn't you, just have a good night. It's getting so long, so I promise I'm going to make one more video in part 4.
At least she's keeping it brief. She speaks fast enough that I don't even think I need the 1.5, because even I'm like, whoa, you're speaking super fast.
Here is part 4, and I'm going to make this hopefully the last video. So if you saw in part 3 when I had said to her, she basically said it wasn't her. And I, at that point, knew for 100% it was her because I hadn't taken a new client in 3 months. She was the only new client. The way that I 100% confirmed it was because I clicked on the Google review that she had left under the fake name. And she had also given the same lash salon that she was talking to me about a 1-star review. I was like, girl, you tapped on yourself. So
women, nothing slips past us. You know, like, as a woman, she should have known that this other woman, aka this Lash tech, would figure it out because we can figure out anything. We'll stalk everything and we'll find everything. So I don't know why she even tried to lie. Why bother?
I'm like calling my business partner and I'm like crying because if you know, like if you are a business owner, you know how frustrating it can be when you can go bend your back for someone and then they just like throw it in your face. Mind you, this client is like 3 times my age. So then at this point, I'm just trying to figure out what her actual name is. So
I don't know why I thought this client was like 25, like 20s, really irresponsible, just really weird. But turns out she's like, what, like 60?
her phone number on Google, and this is where shit gets crazy. Tell me why, as soon as I put her phone number in, it gives me a lash artist in my area. And it also gives me her Instagram. I go and look her up on Instagram and she has me blocked from this account. So I'm on the phone with my business partner and she pulls it up and she is a lash artist too. We are looking through her page and it's all fake photos. We put in the photos into Google and every single photo pops up. Every single photo on her account.
Okay, I did not expect that. That took a twist and a turn. Like, is she trying to get rid of competition? This is crazy.
It's big. Mind you, when she was getting her lashes done with me, she was saying that she has a cousin in Houston that wants to buy my supplies. The cousin is her. So at this point, I'm just like so confused. I'm honestly like scared because I'm like, this person knows where I work. And it was just like an unsettling feeling. So then I called Lash Studio that she left a 1-star review on to try to figure out her name because I still don't know it. They tell me that it's the same person. They confirm it for me. They also say that they know that she's using a fake name and that person used a fake name with them too. And she basically tells me that she was like screaming at them, yelling at them, being really aggressive. Basically the same thing she tried to do with me, she did to them. So then I had pulled up her Instagram from my friend's phone and I noticed that she was following people that like I was meeting from TikTok. And I noticed she followed like 1,000 people in the exact same order as it is in my following list. And to this day, she's still doing it. And I have proof of that. So back then when I call her, I basically tell her like, look, I know it was you. And she goes, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, okay. And I said her business name. She was like, why do you want to start all this drama? You are unprofessional. And I'm like, you're weird. Like at this point, I don't care about like professional. Like you are actually a sicko. You're odd. You're very, very odd. And I told her, I was like, look, as a business owner, like you shouldn't be doing this to someone else. She goes, I don't have a business. At this point, I start laughing because I'm like, you're such a liar. Like you're fucking crazy. And then she's like, where's my puppy? Okay, so sorry, don't hate me. I'm gonna make another video because this is just like way too long. The reason why I'm gonna report her is gonna be in like the next slide because I've given her.
Obviously insane. Obviously batshit crazy. Like I actually don't understand the motivation here again. Like I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Okay, this is part 5 on why I'm reporting my client to the state board. These are her lashes in question. This is how she would come in for her fills every appointment. And again, the 2 lashes throwing gang signs in different directions. If you watched part 4, you saw the screenshot that I sent her and
Lashes throwing gang signs is describing the situation perfectly because it really paints an image that is clear and concise. I can't even quite figure out how much of this is her natural lashes because there's just like chunks missing completely. There's nothing to attach the lashes to.
Called her, telling her that I knew it was her that left the fake review and that I know that she's a lash artist. So through all of this, I was finally able to figure out her name. And with her name, I looked her up in the licensing department and I figured she doesn't have one. While I'm on the phone with her, she keeps saying that it wasn't her who left the review. She has no idea who it was, and then finally admits that it was her friend. While she continues to deny that she does lashes. And someone that went to school and someone that is proud of what they do, that knows they're doing legal work, wouldn't never lie about what you do. You'd be very proud of it. When I call her out on blocking me on Instagram, she said she never did that. This person is a psychopath. They are a liar. They will do anything to tell the truth. So then I told her, if I hear one more thing from you, I'm going to report you. Fast forwarding why I'm reporting her. On 3 different occasions, I've had clients tell me that they had went to her in the past or they had no idea who she was and they booked with her. She talked about me the entire appointment. This 40-plus middle-aged woman talks about me to my clients the entire time they're there. And I've honestly had it because when they tell me what she said, it's all lies. And she says that she doesn't like my products, she says she doesn't like my work, and this is what we're working with here, as you can see. I am not someone that usually would ever do this. However, I have given her a lot of chances. I was in the hospital a couple weeks ago, and knowing that, she continued to just badmouth me to a client that was only going to her because I was hospitalized, and this client had no idea. But when she told me, I was like, yep, you're done.
Well, that took a turn. What's her end game? To ruin your business? Yeah, like I just don't quite understand. What is the end game? Get your clients over to her, but it's just such a weird game to play. She must have deleted her review. The lashes, I literally gasped. Yeah, bro, like I'm not a magician, yeah. Tell me why I thought she was pulling the lashes off and using them on her clients as you were doing her lashes at such a discount. Is your client Bree Powers? Right, then we have this.
Here's the thing in this is that...
And this is obviously responding to the comment that says, what's her end game to ruin your business? And yeah.
She couldn't do that even if she tried because I built my business from scratch. She built her business from stealing photos, making people stressed out, and being negative. She lives in a very scarcity mindset, and when you live like that, you will always lose. And I truly feel bad for her because one, if she was busy, she wouldn't have time to stress me out. But she's a very odd person, so I hope she seeks help, but I am going to report her.
Then we have this extra bit which just says, me after my 5-part series saying strangers on the internet about a client that made my life a living hell. And it's this sound.
My life. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope you enjoyed it because I know I did.
Which is just a little meme thing. Then we have an actual, a few extra updates. Someone said, how did you allow her to do all this? And these are newer updates, that's why they have way less views. This literally was, a few days ago.
How did you allow her to do all this? So I still ask myself that question all the time. And I think part of the reason why is because as a service provider, most of the time when you communicate your boundaries to someone, especially clients, they get offended. Most people nowadays get offended when you put up boundaries and you say no. So I feel forced, I don't know if other service providers feel like this, but I feel forced to say yes. And when even when I really want to say no, I still say yes because, you want to help the client. You appreciate the client. We understand clients are the backbone of our business, There would be no business with no clients, but some things people ask sometimes are just really pushing it and you want to say it, but then the benefit of the doubt really gets in the way. And my puppy is smelling my butt right now. What are you doing? But yeah, that's how I allowed it to go on for so long.
That makes sense. I feel like she's just someone who's very unconfrontational, doesn't want to get on the bad side of her clients, like always wants to go above and beyond, and that kind of bit her in the ass. Someone said, I didn't think I'd hear this horror story again.
Okay guys, hi, this was made about the story time ending about my client horror story. You can go watch that, it's pinned on my profile. But I was reading some comments and a lot of you were one, asking how I allowed this to go on for so long, and two, that you would have turned her away, and I even saw comments saying like, oh, you're a terrible person. I'm like, what? So first thing, how did I allow it to go on for so long? When you're in customer service, some people have a hard time saying no, and that was definitely me. I still struggle with it because I will go to the ends of the earth for my clients. I love that they choose me for their service. I wouldn't have business if it wasn't for my clients. So I wasn't going into this thinking that this would happen. Nobody goes into these things thinking that this stuff happens, it just happens. I was trying to make her as happy as possible. That's why I kept filling in her lashes, wanting them to last her. I even told her that I would work with her and like check in with her to see how her lashes were, but when she wasn't even like respecting and coming in with like 2 lashes, like what can I do? And then the part where people are like, oh, well, this lash tag is like, you deserved it, or like, you're probably terrible. It's like, you don't know me. Anybody that does know me knows that's not true. And if I don't have problems with people, if you have a problem with me, you have a problem with yourself, because I don't argue, I don't fight with anybody. So if anybody has anything to say about me, that is like your problem, because I'm in my own world. And the last thing I'm gonna do is let strangers on the internet dictate if I'm a good person or not.
Obviously just responding to some hate that she got from the story time. I think this is the last part that she posted. Unless there's more, we'll check for updates. And this is answering questions about my client horror story.
If you haven't already watched my crazy client horror story, go click on my profile, there's a playlist. But this creator reposted my video and there are a few comments that I just wanted to answer, I guess. One comment I saw saying that you can't report someone that doesn't have a license That's why the state board is there, to catch people that don't have a license, because it is illegal.
Which is also what happens with all the other stories I tell of people doing filler and Botox and braces and veneers without a license. That's what the board is there for. You report them, and that's why the veneer tech got sued by the board, because she didn't have a license.
Provide a service if you don't have a license. That is one of the reasons that they're there. Let's get that before you guys come attack me. Another question I saw frequently saying, why did she perform the service if that's what her lashes look like? Again, you guys, this is the part of the problem. I couldn't say no to her. She wouldn't take no for an answer. I can show you guys like how persistent she was when she was texting me. And I would text her multiple times saying this over and over again. You can pause to read.
She said, the sets are not lasting because we are not able to get full coverage. We have not been able to get full coverage since you started coming to me. Full coverage means you sit through an entire appointment where I'm able to lash 100% of your lashes. You're coming in with 0 and I'm only lashing to about 20-40%. That's why your lashes aren't able to last more than 2 weeks. That's why I'm not comfortable providing the service. That is not up to my standard. I can do the full tomorrow. However, I would really appreciate if we can respect my policies and book accordingly for future appointments. I can provide the services to the standard that I hold myself to. And she said, okay, my dear, see you at 11. Just completely, okay, my dear. I won't do that, but thank you.
Very clear that I was not comfortable with doing her lashes, and she kept saying, okay, I promise, I won't do it again, and it just wasn't going anywhere. And if you are a service provider, I have a hard time saying no. I'm not sure if anyone else feels that way, but you don't want to just turn away a client. You want to do the best you can to make them happy. There's like so many comments, but one of the last things I want to address is, why are you reporting her if like you know all this, like just move on. This happened, you guys, back in April. I wasn't going to even do any of this, even though I know so much and I could have totally destroyed her way sooner. I didn't want to. The only reason that I decided to report her was because I literally was in the hospital. 2 of my clients went to her, not knowing who she was, because again, I hadn't posted about her. They came back, I saw their lashes, and I'm like, they're terrible. And I'm not the type of technician to like bash others, so all I told my clients were like, hey, like whoever did your lashes, like while I was away, like just don't go back there, because the work is terrible. Like what the hell? So when they told me, they were like, hey, like she was actually telling a lot about you. She said that like she knew you and your work with this and that. If someone is telling you that, hey, like my lash tech has pneumonia, like she's in the hospital, and you still choose to sit there and talk about me while I like was dying in the hospital. They had told me if I would have waited 2 more days, my lung would have collapsed, and your old ass still finds the nerve to talk about me. Even after I caught you red-handed lying, when I had texted her, basically the message that I put in one of the story times, she said, I don't know what you mean. Like totally acting like she didn't write it. And then on a phone call conversation, she's like, okay, well, that was my friend, it wasn't me. Her story keeps switching. I'm not sure if you guys want to hear that phone call. I could play it, make a video about it, but yeah, it's just annoying. Like on TikTok, everyone has an opinion and they think they know what they're talking about.
And obviously this is the text that she sent her when she left the bad review. Just explaining it, she goes, hi, I am sorry you text me. I don't know what you mean, hello. If you didn't leave a review, that's fine. I would just appreciate the honesty. Have a good night. Thank you.
So that is the questions I saw in Alexandra, I think her name is, her post. So there you have it.
Let's click on a page and see if she posted anything else about this. That's, I think, it. So obviously there's like no real ending or conclusion to this story, but I find that we usually talk about the lash techs and the veneer techs being messes and crazy and unhinged, but you can also have clients that are crazy and unhinged. I don't know what it is with the cosmetic aesthetics industry that just breeds insanity, but here it is on both sides of things. So let me know what you guys think. Subscribe, hit the bell icon for engagement. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.